This is sixth period video production, and you're watching
Rider News Takeover!
We just kicked things off with that shout out from our very own sixth period video production class. That's right, we've taken over this week's Rider News. Today is Wednesday, December 11th. I'm Camden Thompson.
And I'm Xander Miller. Don't expect the same old crew on this episode. Our class is taking over everything. But we need to reflect on last week's climate crisis assembly, which was the second assembly this year devoted to the school-focused climate change.
Hi, my name's Delfonso, and welcome back to yet another segment of climate change. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, I'm still trying to continue to try to find out the answers to what we can do to fight climate change. And I'm still going to be going around and asking questions to people and inquiries and find out what I can do and find out maybe even what we can do to help fight this really bad thing that's going on in our world. Now, I stopped by because I wanted to ask you some questions about how you thought that the presentation went with Bill Bacchus.
Mm-hmm.
So, what exactly do you feel like you've learned from it?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good presentation. I appreciated him showing the science of, or at least the data, right? The data about what we're seeing in our region and some predictions specific to our region. And I really appreciated him talking about the year 2015 as a case study. So in 20 or 30 years, we can expect this area to be 4 or 5 degrees warmer. And the average temperatures in 2015 were about 4 degrees warmer. And so what we saw in 2015 will be our new normal. And so that was a powerful demonstration. Also, I appreciated the fact that it wasn't necessarily apocalyptic. Like, we all survived the year 2015. So, yeah, I like how it made climate change more, I hope that it made it more real and tangible, instead of like a scary boogeyman, but just like, here's how the world might look, or our little slice of the world.
Thank you for joining me once again on another segment of climate change. Now, next week we'll be, as is routine, asking more questions and finding out more answers. And I hope that you take some of this advice into your own life and try to adapt to try to help fix this. Now, I hope you all have a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thanks for that insight. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us as we continue to explore climate change as a school-wide focus. As we continue to roll into chilly weather, there are some exciting new things happening at Port Angeles High School.
We ran around talking to the coaches of a couple of the winter sports teams that are looking to start their season up. Let's take a look at what they're saying about the upcoming Rough Riders winter sports season.
You know, it's a team bonding experience, unlike any other sports. You know, we don't cut anybody in wrestling. You know, in some sports you do. We take anybody. You know, don't turn anybody back. Wrestling builds endurance. Even for other sports programs, it helps football. Any other sports in this program, wrestling helps with. So.
I think we have really well-rounded athletes. I think one of our better qualities is that we get multi-sport athletes who play other things and bring those skills to us, and then take the things that we teach into their other sports as well. I think it really helps us be successful. We're athletic, we're pretty intelligent, and we have a lot of depth.
Thank you to Coach Poindexter and Coach Gale for getting us excited about the season. Speaking of sports, many of us have seen sports like football, basketball, baseball, and more, but there's a new type of sport emerging that many people aren't aware of.
Most people may not consider it a sport, even though it's being introduced at the 2022 Olympic Games, and most colleges in the nation offer several full-ride scholarships to student athletes. We're talking about esports, which is alive and well on our very own campus. Let's find out what the club is all about.
Currently, I am actually the president of esports, and I am currently trying to get it all set up, make sure everything is running smoothly, and mainly just spearheading it, basically. I am currently on the Fortnite team, which is not my first choice by any means, but it's the current game that I'm willing to support up there. Fortnite, I've also been on there essentially since the school started doing the esports stuff. I'll be playing mainly Arc, which is the Free Play Friday game.
It really has changed the way I get involved in esports, the way we all collaborate as one independent person. It's really a change for me of how I view or to participate in esports. We'll get teams under control when we get things managed. The games I'll be involved in the esports club is mainly CSGO and Rainbow Six. I have no experience with these games, so playing these games will be a fresh start for me, and hopefully they will be fully enjoyed from my point of view.
Currently, I am the secretary. I have to put together teams. I have to put all the teams into tournaments, or at least assist with putting teams into tournaments, and make sure all the players are doing their thing, like playing their games, getting better at their games, and not only that, they actually have to be playing or the teams will be disbanded and completely be negated from the esports league. I am currently on a team. There's not very many people on the team, unfortunately, but yes, I am. The games I will be playing are just League of Legends, but League of Legends is the only game I will be playing in esports. Just practice, get better, definitely experiment with different characters, different play styles, because everybody has their own way of playing, and people say that a lot, but it is worth it when you find your own.
You should be involved in it because it's so much fun being here with us. You have Rainbow Six, you have CSGO. Last year we had League of Legends.
It really depends on what game they select to play. For example, in first-person shooters, my advice would be don't take a shot that you're not confident you can hit. And if you do take the shot, don't hesitate. And for any other games such as Smash Bros, I don't have any experience with them, so.
Thank you to the members of the Esports Club for that info. We can't wait to see how you do in the High School Esports League Spring Major starting in a couple of short months.
We're going to turn our focus onto Mr. Branham in the woodshop class. You might have this class or have heard your friends talking about it. Either way, this is one of the most popular CTE classes at Port Angeles High School. Let's take a look.
Probably my favorite part of woodshop is competing in Skills USA and doing CNC work. I've been doing it since my freshman year and I'm a junior now. The project I'm working on now are CNC inscriptions into wood handles for Storm King CrossFit downtown in their new building. My least favorite part is when I'm having a tired day and still have to do everything that I don't want to do. The hardest tool to use is probably trying to figure out how to work the CNC, and then once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy.
My favorite part of woodshop, hands down, Mr. Branham. Greatest teacher I've ever had. I've done woodshop for 4 years, and I have done cabinet making for 3 years. Currently, I'm putting together some chairs for Miss Gailey. My best advice for beginners is not to be afraid of taking on new challenges and learning from your mistakes. My favorite project was probably my first year in cabinet making. I made this table out of a burl that my dad cut off a maple tree. It's really pretty. I'm pretty proud of it. The scariest tool to use is probably the edge sander. Easiest tool to use is a table saw.
Hi, this is Tim Branham. I am a woodshop instructor at Port Angeles High School, and this is my 29th year teaching. Actually, I was in the Peace Corps, and I got to experience teaching when I was in the northern Philippines. Actually, I also have a science background, but I find that I could get more out of students in the woodshop than I could in science classroom. Well, the cabinet making class period after lunch is my most advanced students, and they're pretty self-motivated. The funnest part about teaching woodshop is probably seeing somebody that doesn't know what they're doing to the end of the year where they know quite a little bit. Well, there hasn't been many, but the worst injury I've had is a student touched his fingers on the joiner, which then cut 2 of his fingertips. My best advice for a student coming into one of my classes is come in with an open mind, be willing to come every day and work hard, and they'll learn something.
Thank you to the students of the woodshop class and Mr. Branham for giving us a glimpse into their world. Looks like that about does it for our 6 periods Writer News Takeover.
It's been a lot of fun. Your regular news team will be back next week for the final Writer News episode of 2019. That's right, just a week and a half away to go until winter break. Hang in there and stay warm, writers.